to Into Des Moines. We're sponsored by the Zona Comfort Lifebound Center, located on 71st Street in Urbandale. That is just west of Mariah Mall. And we specialize in massage therapy, relaxation coaching, reflexology, and NLP and QMI for the goal-oriented person. Now, I have today here with me Breanne Ward, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does. Go ahead, Breanne. Nice meeting you, by the way.
Nice to meet you too, sir. Again, my name
Thank
is Breanne Ward. I am a licensed mental health counselor in the beautiful city of Des Moines, Iowa. I am founder of Forward Consulting, LLC, which hubs therapy services as well as consulting services.
Okay. So how long have you been at this?
So I've been in the counseling field since about 2007. I was a baby counselor at that time. My background is in violent crime response with a specialization in sexual trauma. So I was a sexual assault advocate for many years. I was a volunteer coordinator, which means I was training volunteer sexual assault advocates to go into the hospitals to be with survivors of sexual assault. And then I was an internship coordinator, so I oversaw interns to go into the community and assist with crime-related issues. And then I decided to go back and get my Master's of Counseling from Drake University in 2010. Graduated there in May 2013. Wasn't quite sure what my next steps were, but my love, Dr. Sandra L. McGee, she was my supervisor at the time. She said, I think you should really go into therapy. And so I made the jump in 2016, and I have been a therapist since then.
Okay, well, it sounds like you got a lot going on. Let me ask you another quick question. Are you a local? Are you from the Des Moines area?
Yes, I am born and raised in the Drake area.
Okay, very good. Now, went to your website, of course, and looked over some things, and there's a couple of things that caught my eye that you are specialized in. And one of the things that caught my eye when we speak of trauma, and you do work with trauma, trauma.
Yes.
People who've experienced trauma, pardon me. The one that caught me, and I'm looking at right here, I wrote it down. This one says historical trauma, and I want to ask you about that. And then I think, well, let me tell you, let me let you just go, because my next question is kind of related to it.
Okay.
With all this going on, and I think you know where I'm going with that.
Absolutely.
I think you know where I'm going with that. So
Yes.
Go ahead, jump into the historical trauma.
So historical trauma, well, let's just break down the word trauma, period. So trauma to me is, and I learned this definition from Andrew Jacobs, he's one of my professors. Trauma is something that happens to you that you didn't ask for, and then you're left by yourself to figure it out. And so when you hub together historical in front of trauma, what that means is it is a group of people or a culture that had something done to them that they didn't ask for, and then they're left for many generations to try to figure it out. And what we know about historical drama, I mean, basically, if you think about us, we're African American, and so we have slavery, and we have the impact of Emancipation Proclamation, Jim Crow. So all of those things systematically contributed to our history and how we have matriculated through the United States of America, which are not so united right now. And so we are having a lot of body trauma as well, holding on to secrets, being voiceless, being able to try to store horrific acts that we maybe have seen or we've gone through, being scared to share because we don't know if we'll be separated from our families, or if someone will believe us, or if we'll be blamed for the crime or whatever. So all of those impacts, all of those microaggressions, and all of those things contribute to historical trauma.
Okay, that is very good. Of course, you know where I was going with this. We're experiencing something very historical in this country right now. I've never seen nothing like it, starting with the situation in Minneapolis that is still actually global. And connected to this on your resume, seeing trauma and race is how are we, I heard the historical part, but the trauma and race, is it kind of close to what you just went over, or there's something else going there?
So with that as well, when I think about that presentation in particular, trauma and race is basically, let's just figure out what you know about race, okay? So if you are someone who's never considered race, this is a presentation for you, because it actually does a scan of your environment, does a scan of what you personally experienced, and then it goes into it further, meaning if you've contributed to the problem, and or if you feel like you want to do something for the problem to stop the trauma towards a specific ethnic group, or I call it an ism group, sexism, racism,
Right.
you know, all of those things. And so it's basically trying to take a lens or a snapshot at isms that maybe you have glanced over, maybe didn't look at, maybe you identify with one, and just seeing how is your worldview based on what you've experienced or what you've heard or what you've been rooted and grounded in due to your family of origin.
Okay, years ago, I was speaking to my daughter, and this is when she first went through Iowa State, and she was telling me about African Americans. I don't want to say relationship with therapists, especially mental therapists. Should I say lack of a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And she said that maybe that's the problem. Maybe more of us need to sit down with the mental therapist. And I want to say this real quick on this program. Just because you're sitting down with a mental therapist does not make you crazy. Okay, it means that you have issues and you're getting uh, 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 a neutral ear out there to listen to you. Someone that is non-biased is not going to judge you and can give you correct feedback. And so you go ahead and take it from there.
I'm glad you said that. I think, okay, so I also am a alum of Iowa State University. I graduated in 2006. But going there 2002 was very difficult for me because that was the first time I was called a minority. And that was the first time I couldn't see somebody who looked like me in my face. I am an alum of Hoover High School, where they have welcome in 10 different languages. You
Right.
know, we were
old
basically,
school.
yeah, I mean, we were actually like the world. So it wasn't odd to see someone from Bosnia, from Africa, from, you know, Clark Street, all sit at the same table having a good time. And so when I went to Iowa State, it was very difficult for me because I couldn't see me anywhere. But I thank the Lord for student support services, because that's where we were able to find some connection and some community. But to go back to what you were saying to your daughter, absolutely, we should be able to sit and talk to somebody about our experiences and to basically have a sounding board. Therapy to me is not about someone dictating your life. Therapy to me is you being the expert of your own life, you telling me what you need, and I take some of my skills and expertise and sprinkle it in there. You get to navigate that thing. It's not my job to do that, because it's not my life and it's not my experience. But absolutely, it's okay to talk to someone.
Okay, now let me ask you another question pertaining to that. Are you finding that there is a stigma in the Black community about seeking mental therapy?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because there are so many stereotypes about the African American experience. We're strong, we're not weak, we don't cry, we believe in Jesus, and we go to church. And those things should help us. And if it's not helping you, then something's wrong with you. So what I've noticed recently in my practice is that there's been a lot of people suffering in silence for years based on those stereotypical myths about our culture. And so what I would like to say is that you could do all of those things and still need support. So the stigma is still there, but I think it's starting to fade away, because we're actually seeing some Hollywood African-American figures like Taraji Henson come out and say, I donated this much money for people to go and get help. We have Kevin Hart, who now has a new Audible book, who's talking about, how to make right decisions and how to clear your mind. So I think that we're getting somewhere, because Black Hollywood is setting some stones for us as well.
Right. They're being open about it. They're reaching out to the community, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Let's just look at demographics. What are you seeing coming to you as a mental therapist, is there a certain age group predominantly? Is it older people, is it younger people, is black, white, yellow, brown? What are the
Yes.
demographics that you see seeking mental therapy today?
Yes. So in my practice currently right now, I would say probably 75 to 80% of my practice, I see African American females. And they're from all walks of life, and they're from all different backgrounds. Like I think my youngest is 16, my oldest is 74.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
big jump.
and it is a big jump. I do see a few men, some not of color. I am seeing a lot of anxiety and depression. Um, and I'm also seeing a lot of anger, not just because of the state of what's going on, but it's the state of I've been asking for help in indirect ways and I haven't been able to get them. So I've been coping by using my anger or minimizing my issues or over functioning in areas or um, doing a good thing in an unhealthy way. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
Just out of curiosity, why more women than men? What do you think is causing that? Are men
Well,
just like, I'm strong, I can handle it, I don't need anyone, I can do this by myself? Is that what's going on?
so there is also a stigma for men to come and get therapy due to like the macho man. The I handle things on my own. I'm the provider. I'm the thinker. I'm the fixer. And if I can't fix me, then something's wrong with me. So I'll do it on my own. That's what I've encountered with some of the, what brought you to me, or what took you so long to look out for yourself. And those have been some of the things that I've heard.
Okay, now before I let you go, and first of all, thank you for doing this with me. The Into Des Moines crowd really appreciates it. And what I would like from you right now, how about some contact information? How do we get hold of you?
Absolutely. So there's a various ways you can get a hold of me. If you would like to call me on the phone, my number is 515-996-5935. If you want to learn more about the services in which I have, you can go to my website. It is moveforward2day.com, moveforwardtoday.com. Or you can also email me. It's one of the longest emails you've ever seen, but it is moveforwardconsulting.llc@gmail.com.
Okay, Miss Breanne Ward, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, the Into Des Moines crowd, for coming out. Once again, remember, make every day the happiest day of your life. Thank you very much.